Well, viewers, with the race to the White House in the final leg, the political discourse too seems to be sinking to new lows. The Republicans are up in arms after the U.S. President Joe Biden referred to Trump supporters as quote-unquote garbage floating around. Now, turning the table on the opponent, Donald Trump has launched a scathing attack, asserting that one cannot lead America if one does not love Americans. In fact, the former president also rode into the passenger seat of a white garbage truck that carried his name. Wearing an orange and yellow safety vest over his white dress shirt and red tie, Donald Trump said that the truck is in honor of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden.
This week, Kamala has been comparing her political opponents to the most evil mass murderers in history. And now, speaking on a call for her campaign last night, Joe Biden finally said what he and Kamala really think of our supporters. He called them garbage. And they mean it, even though without question my supporters are far higher quality than Crooked Joe or Lying Kamala. My response to Joe and Kamala is very simple. You can't lead America if you don't love Americans. You just can't. And you can't be president if you hate the American people. And there's a lot of hatred there.
Meanwhile, the former Republican presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy also independently took a garbage truck drive to a Charlotte campaign event, and after condemning Biden's comment as really disgusting and divisive in an interview, Ramaswamy hailed Trump, saying that Republicans are not the garbage, they're taking out the garbage.
It's just the way they look down on half the country. It's disgusting, it's un-American, but it doesn't have to stay that way. And the way I look at it is, I don't care if you're voting for Kamala Harris or not, I'm not going to call you garbage. But the fact that Biden came out and said that, I think, was a turning point in this election. And we don't have to stay this country where you're just afraid to speak your mind anymore. So we'll talk about that in there. But I want to say thank you, guys. Ready to win an election? We'll get this job done. Ready to win? USA! 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 USA!
Interestingly, Trump also made a late-night campaign appearance in Arizona along with conservative media host Tucker Carlson, and the two spoke at length about Liz Cheney, a former Republican politician who is known to be a vocal Trump critic. In fact, she's been a sore spot of sorts for Trump ever since she switched to Kamala Harris's side. Trump called her a radical war hawk and suggested that she might not be as willing to send troops to fight if she had guns pointed at her, a remark that hasn't gone down too well with many.
And, go a couple of years forward or go now. And I don't blame him for sticking with his daughter, but his daughter is a very dumb individual, very dumb. She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. When the guns are trained on her face. They're all war hawks when they're sitting in Washington in a nice building saying, oh, gee, let's send 10,000 troops right into the mouth of the enemy. But she's a stupid person. And I used to I'd have meetings with a lot of people, and she always wanted to go to war with people.
Now, Kamala Harris, meanwhile, has issued a statement distancing from Biden's comments, saying that if she is elected, she will serve as president for all Americans, irrespective of whether they voted for her or not. Interestingly, Kamala Harris is also relying heavily on the Latino vote, with Jennifer Lopez campaigning for the Harris campaign, calling on Americans to come out and vote on November 5th.
Can't even spell American without Rican. This is our country too, and we must exercise our right to vote on November 5th.